Instead of our games to watch where we give you the most competitive games, we're going to give you all 9 conference title games from the least close rating to the sicko game of the week, which is our conference championship, where the 2 teams are rated the closest. So we're going to kick it off with that Troy James Madison matchup. Now you can see here, there are 3 other teams in the Sun Belt ranked higher than Troy who did not make this title game. So this is not the best matchup. Very low playoff implications here. James Madison winning could open the conversation if Duke wins the ACC. So there are some implications because Troy would absolutely be a spoiler for the Sun Belt if they pull off this upset.
James Madison opened up as 22.5-point favorites over Troy. This is a game where James Madison needs style points. With Duke being a possible ACC champ, they need a win by that 3 scores and maybe even more. So I'm looking for the Dukes to just run wild in this game.
The ACC championship game somehow includes a completely unranked and under-the-radar Duke team with 5 losses against Virginia, neither of whom are the top-rated team that we have. You know, we've got Miami rated higher than Virginia. We've got Pitt and Clemson both rated higher than Duke. Clemson has more conference losses, and we still have them rated higher than Duke. But here's what I'll say. Take a look at Duke's worst loss of its 5. That's the number 50 team. That means all 5 of Duke's losses are against teams in the S&D 50. This is a team that didn't play a cupcake schedule. They have wins that matter. Their best win is against NC State, who beat Virginia. Their second best win, is against NC State. NC State beat Virginia in a game that for some reason doesn't count as a conference game, and it's the only reason Virginia's in this to begin with, is because that loss didn't count because it was a non-conference game against a conference opponent. I mean, the ACC is just messy, messy, messy. The playoff implications here are insane if Duke upsets Virginia.
Whatever the committee does tonight will dictate what this looks like with a winner.
I really hope they don't rank Duke. That would be so upsetting to me. The American, it's getting more competitive. We've got a rating gap of only 276 between number 16 in North Texas on the road, having to go to Yulman Stadium in New Orleans to play what we have is number 28, Tulane. And again, we've talked about it before, that atrocity. You see it there in our top conference teams. Navy not making this game. But the playoff implications are high here. The winner is in the CFP. In the Mountain West, with almost an identical rating difference, we've got number 33 UNLV at number 49 Boise State because of convoluted tiebreakers. But not making it is New Mexico. We've already talked about how atrocious this is, but it's worth noting that New Mexico actually beat UNLV already this year on the road. The only reason they're not in this game is because they lost at Boise State on the Smurf turf by 3 scores. Was not a good showing for New Mexico, but that loss is truly the reason that they're out of this game right now.
That loss was the turning point for New Mexico, where they really started to turn their season around. But UNLV and Boise, this is a rematch from earlier this year where Boise State won. This is a rematch from last year's Mountain West Conference title game. It was the same thing, Boise hosting UNLV. It's kind of becoming a rivalry in the Mountain West, and this will be their last time meeting each other for who knows how long, as UNLV stays in the Mountain West and Boise moves on to the Pac-12.
That's probably going to be a UNLV New Mexico affair for a while.
Yeah.
Now the SEC comes next as we get lower in our S&D rating difference, with 230.3 points separating our number 5 team Georgia against our number 13 team Alabama. Alabama, who, while this is a neutral site game, is technically the home team here. But take a look at our top conference teams here, and who do you notice is not included? It's Alabama. Our S&D ratings have Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma, all with better ratings than the Alabama team that's about to go play for the SEC title game. Down to a rating gap of 189.9 in the MAC, we've got Miami, not of Florida, taking on the Western Michigan Broncos at Ford Field, a neutral site game. Miami's already beaten Western Michigan this year. That's their best win so far of the season. So this is another rematch. We talked about Toledo missing out on rematching and trying to beat Western Michigan. Miami's already done it. They just have to do it again. In Conference USA, we have Kennesaw State taking on Jacksonville State. This is one of the instances where the top 2 rated teams are actually playing in the conference title game. No divisions to screw this up. Just downright top teams playing for the conference title. Jacksonville's best win is actually against Kennesaw. Kennesaw's best win is against Florida International, which is the next highest rated team in the conference. It's going to be fun to see this rematch play out on Friday night.
Yeah, the first matchup was pretty dang close and had some wild plays go down in it. It was a fun one to watch. This will be another good one. They hosted earlier in the year, so Kennesaw traveling to Jack State again. I do kind of put my chips more in Jacksonville State side. They're the defending Conference USA champs, and if they're hosting the game, I do give them the edge over Kennesaw, even though Kennesaw is the higher rated team.
Where you have the top 2 teams, you have the smaller rating gaps. So our next one is the Big Ten. With Ohio State and Indiana, 1 and 2 overall, 1 and 2 in the conference, 113.5 separating their ratings, which is a big gap because Ohio State has played that well. But Indiana, with undeniably the best win in the country against a number 4 Oregon team that hasn't lost to anyone else. Ohio State, that win against Texas has aged like fine wine.
I cannot wait for this game. This one, though it's not the sicko game of the week, this is the game that I will be locked on Saturday night.
That brings us to the sicko game of the week in Arlington, AT&T Stadium, noon Eastern on Saturday. December 6th is BYU and Texas Tech rematching with a rating difference of just 22.1. And that's so close that that's effectively even, right? We have BYU at 7 and Texas Tech at 8. You could call it a fluke of the model. Like, these 2 teams played really good years. BYU should be a playoff team, even if they lose this game. They won't be, though. This is a win and you're in, lose and you're out situation for the Cougars. And with everything going on now with their coach and conversations with Penn State, this is a weird and tricky situation to be in.
And this game in particular, sicko game of the week with the rating difference. Texas Tech annihilated BYU at home earlier in the season, and it's real interesting to see BYU ranked just above Texas Tech, basically saying these 2 teams are level in resume. So I'm excited to see if on a neutral field, if BYU can surprise some people and give Texas Tech more of a run for their money here. And honestly, looking at this, according to the S&D, BYU should be solidly in the playoffs, whether they win or lose. We know that's not how the committee sees it, so BYU looking to cause a little bit of chaos and steal a spot by beating Tech.
Yeah, everyone out there in the media is calling them a bid thief. I actually love that term. It's a great term here. But if BYU wins, who do you knock out? Like, serious question. Last question of the show. Who do you cut from the teams currently in the field if number 11 BYU wins? Because you don't cut out Texas Tech. Do you cut out Alabama if they lose since they were in the 10 spot? Or are you forced to cut out like Notre Dame?
It gets messy really quick. I'm not sure what the committee will do, honestly.
That's kind of why I think the committee might rank Miami at 9 and Notre Dame at 10 and Alabama at 11 and BYU at 12 this week. Because it makes both the BYU-Alabama games, winning you're in, losing you're out. And it puts Miami and Notre Dame in order, but puts both of them on a chopping block. And that's fun, clear football. I like that a lot, but they won't do it. I wish they would, though.